Hey everyone, how are you? Today is going to get really personal because I'm going to share with you one of my biggest losses. Now, I've had a few, but I'm going to share one of my biggest losses that actually fueled me to really change my life, change my approach to the game of tennis, and taught me a lot as a young person. So I hope that you guys will subscribe to my channel so you can learn more about me and hopefully about things like this that are super motivating in life. So let's get started. So picture this, the year is 1999 and it's the US Open. And if you do not know what the US Open is, it is one of the 4 biggest tournaments in tennis. It is one of the biggest athletic competitions in the world, and it's actually the biggest it's actually the biggest athletic competition in the world in terms of how many people come. It's over 2 weeks. So it's a huge tournament. And as we fast forward, it's the semifinals, and both my sister, Serena Williams, and I am in the semifinals. So both of us are in the semifinals. And I was 19, I just turned 19, and Serena was 17 years old because we were babies. I think I had just gotten my braces off that year. I got my braces at 15 and I got them off at 19. Weirdly enough, I liked braces, don't ask me why. But basically I was a child, and sport teaches you to grow up quickly. You have to make big decisions, you have to grow up quickly because winning and losing does not know any age. And I had risen at this point to maybe like around the top 5 in the world. So things were going pretty well for me, but I had not won a Grand Slam yet. And in tennis, reaching the pinnacle of tennis is winning one of the 4 majors. So US Open, Wimbledon, Australian Open, or the French Open. That's where you want to be. I had been to a Grand Slam final when I was 17. Great things happening for me early on, but I hadn't crossed the line yet. So we're both in this final. And of course, if anyone knows anything about my dad, he had said a lot of things like, Venus and Serena will be #1 in the world. They'll be the greatest to ever play. They're going to play each other in a lot of finals. You know, that whole thing. So, of course, we both wanted to be in that final. We were also in the doubles final, too, or double semifinals. And I remember we were playing the match. I don't remember who we played, but maybe we'll look it up. And there it is. That's who we played. And as we were playing, you think on the changeover when you sit down, if you don't know much about tennis, you have a break every 2 games. I know that probably sounds indulgent, but let me tell you, it's a lot of work playing tennis. So you have a 60-second break and then you get back up and you get after it. So doubles teams would normally be talking about strategy maybe, but we're over there talking and we're probably winning this match. We did win that match. And I asked her, oh, so how do you feel about tomorrow? Because we're both playing our singles semifinal tomorrow. And singles is definitely a lot of pressure, doubles somewhat even more because you have less room to play. And she says, well, since you have to show up, why not compete? And as a 17-year-old, this is the wisest thing I've ever heard a 17-year-old say. And her perspective on it was just incredible, and as I look back, refreshing and amazing. So we get to tomorrow, we win that match, good news. We get to the next day, and I don't remember who played the first match, so both matches are played back to back. And I think it was probably Serena. So she wins her first match. She wins the first match, and then here comes the second sister. And I get involved in a battle. I think I played Martina Hingis. She may have been #1 in the world at that point, but she was one of the best players. We'll double check and look at the draw. And she was one of the best players in the world. And also very young. I think she was also 19 years old, but she had I think she had already won 3 majors by that point. Tennis is an incredible sport, especially in the women's side. You start winning fast. Not as much now, but back then people were champions very early. So we get into this match, and it's push and it's pull, and I was pushing and she was pushing, and we're fighting, and it's daytime. It becomes nighttime. The night starts, the lights come on. The lights come on when the match starts to go into the night. So we start without lights, the lights come on. I lost the first set. Then I win the second set. We're in a third set. She wins a game, I win a game. Then I lose serve, and in tennis, you never want to lose when you're serving. You never want to lose that game. Then and then I break her, and then she breaks back, and I win, and it was just a battle of the ages. But I did not take Serena's advice. Since you have to show up, why not compete? I did not take that advice, unfortunately. The occasion was so big for me, and not even because I wanted to make a Grand Slam final, but because I had all these expectations for myself. I wanted to win a Grand Slam. Not because I wanted to be there with my sister, I just wanted to win. And there's a such thing as wanting it too much, in the sense that if you just want it, but you're not willing to do what it takes to get it, it's just called wanting it. And I wanted it, but I was not willing to do what it took. So what did I do? My biggest mistake in this match was hoping that my opponent would miss and hoping that somehow she would give me the win. And what's the right thing to do? You gotta go for it, and you gotta take it, and you gotta do the work, and you gotta do the right thing, so that way, when you do go for it and take it, you're going for it the right way, you're taking it the right way, and then you get it because you deserve it. So unfortunately for me, she deserved it more. She was willing to go for it more than I was, and she took the win, which left me devastated. Just simply devastated. And devastated because I was disappointed in myself. I knew that I could do better, but I did not do better, and unfortunately I chose not to do better at that time. It was devastating, it was heartbreaking. The good news is that Serena went on to win the final, and one of the most amazing matches still played to date. Incredible, really incredible what she achieved. And that showed me a lot, and I learned a lot, and thank God I had Serena to show me, because I was a person that needed more heart. I needed more heart, and I knew it. And it's okay to not have a skill. Anything that you don't have, you can absolutely acquire if you do not have it. It's yours for the taking. I realized I needed more heart, and I wanted it, and watching Serena helped me to get it and to get more heart. And after that, I said to myself, no matter what it takes, I will do what it takes to win. Even if that moment feels scary, even if it feels like a risk, I will do what I practice, what I've trained for, and when I get to the match, that's exactly what I'm executing. I'm not going to back away because it seems hard or seems easier to hold back instead of going forward and taking it. And it was a really tough loss for me. But also it proved to be my biggest teacher, because in a way I had hit rock bottom. I had been to a Grand Slam final, I'd played semifinals, I was in the top 10 in the world, but what I really wanted was that Grand Slam, and more than one, hopefully, right? And I realized that if I didn't do more, and if I didn't accept the responsibility of what it took to win, I wouldn't get it. That I would be a great player still, I'd have great results, but someone else would hold the trophy, and I would always be the bridesmaid. And I realized that. And like I said, you have to realize things young in sports. You have to grow up quickly. So I worked on my game. I listened to those around me. My parents at the time were my coaches. I did exactly what they told me to do. I was like, I'm not straying from this anymore. And what do you know, fast forward to that next year, I won my first US Open title. But I really do believe that without that horrible loss, where I had to hit rock bottom, where I was so disappointed, where I had to fall short, I'm not sure that it would have been a wake-up call enough for me. And Serena winning that Grand Slam and seeing her do what she did was huge for me. She showed me the way, even though she was a younger sister. So it's great to have role models around you. Don't feel bad if someone else around you, your friends or colleagues, are doing amazing. Learn from that. You can learn from that. You can be better. You can be everything that you want to be. Don't be afraid if you fail or if you had bad moments. It's just a moment. It's not a forever. And those are moments that you can learn from and grow from. These are all great things and all great experiences. And when you make a mistake, try not to make the same mistake twice. If you're going to make another mistake, make another mistake. But it's beautiful to learn from the people around you, because then it helps you not to make those mistakes. Why? Because they made them so you don't have to. That's what my older sister Lynn always said. She said, I made this mistake so you don't have to. She also won't grow up. She says it while she's laughing, but thankfully I haven't had to make those mistakes. So thank you, Lynn. Love you. So there's my biggest loss and what I learned from it. And I hope that you guys can also learn from that experience and find some motivation in it. For whatever you're trying to go for whatever you want in your life, it's really there if you are willing to put in the work and put in the work the right way and take those next steps. I'd love to hear from you. What are your biggest losses? And also, what are your biggest wins? Maybe that next video for me has to be what my biggest win and what I learned from it too, because while we learn from losing, you also have to get in the practice of winning so you can learn how to win. Once you start to win, you get more experience in that and you take that with you too. So both are super important, and I'm so glad I had this moment to share with you. And if you like this, then we'll do some more. Let me know, just let me know right below what you thought of this.